So we continue on paragraph 15, class, on aggravating circumstances. Paragraph 15, that the advantage be taken of superior strength or means be employed to weaken the defense. What is the meaning of advantage be taken? It means that to take advantage of superior strength, to use purposely excessive force out of proportion to the means of defense available to the person attacked. So the victim was outnumbered, or the excessive force was used para hindi maka-rest back ang biktima. So illustration or example of abuse of superior strength. A strong man has ill-treated a child or an old or decrepit person, one weakened by disease, or where the person physical strength has been overcome by the use of drugs or intoxication. So, example, in the crime of killing, a man of 35 years old killed a child who is 5 years old. So there is an aggravating circumstance of taking advantage by superior strength. Abuse of superior strength also is appreciated when a man attacks a woman with a weapon. Attack made by a woman with a deadly weapon upon an armed and defenseless woman constitute the aggravating circumstance of abuse of superior strength, which his sex and weapon is used in the act afforded him, and from which a woman was unable to defend himself. Next aggravating circumstance is paragraph 16, treachery or alibusia. The act be committed with treachery or alibusia. So what is the basis of this aggravating circumstance? The basis has a reference to the means and ways employed in the commission of the crime. So what do you mean by treachery, class? Treachery is when the offender commits any of the crime against person employing means, method, and forms in the execution which tend directly and especially to ensure its execution without the risk to himself arising from the defense of the offended party might make. Treachery means that the offended party was not given an opportunity to make a defense, and treachery is attended the shooting of the deceased wherein there is an attack or sudden attack unexpected without warning and without giving the victim an opportunity to defend himself or repel the aggression. So what is the rule regarding treachery? It is applicable only to the crimes against person. Then number 2, means and method or forms need not ensure the accomplishment of the crime. It's not necessary that the means or the methods or the forms employed in the execution of the crime ensure its accomplishment, as the law says to ensure its execution only. And number 3, the mode of attack must be consciously adapted. That this is based on the phrase employing means, method, and form in the execution which tends to directly and especially in the definition of treachery. So, treachery is applicable only to crimes against person. Example, when A raped B, A used a carbine to accomplish his purpose. According to the prosecution, A employed means tending to, as it did ensure the execution of the act without the rest himself, which might arise from defense, which B might make. Is there a treachery in this case? No. No. Because treachery applies only to crimes against person. So, this is not already applicable. The case is People versus Ramos in year 1913. But today, because rape is considered now as crimes against person, so this fact, when happened, it will be appreciated as treachery, because now we consider rape as under the crimes against person. What are the other example of treachery? So treachery cannot be presumed. The suddenness of the attack does not of itself suffice to support the finding of alibusía, even if the purpose was to kill, as long as the decision was made all of a sudden and the victim's helpless position was only accidental. So, not all sudden attack can be appreciated as treachery. It is important that the person has used the mode of attack in order to ensure the execution of the crime. In that case, that there will be treachery. So, what are the illustration when the treachery cannot be presumed? There is no treachery under the following circumstance. The assailant was alone while the victim had a fourth companion nearby who would respond instinctively upon seeing their injured companion. So an altercation preceded the attack, and the meeting of the victim and the assailant was only accidental. So there was no treachery kasi isa lang yung akusado at yung victim ay may mga kasama na 4 other companions. When the accused suddenly attacked the victim, the companions might have responded instinctively. So in this case, People versus Bilaga, the Supreme Court said that there is no treachery. Neither treachery is attendant where no witness could have seen how the deceased was shot and no witness was presented. So hindi mapatunayan ng prosecution kung paano isinagawa ang pamamaril ng akusado. So treachery cannot be appreciated. Nor treachery is present in the circumstance where the witness to the attack did not see how the attack began and could not provide details on how initial attack was commenced and how it developed until the victim fell to the ground, at which time he saw the fallen victim beaten. The autopsy report shows no back injury, and the attack was made in a broad daylight on a public road and in inhabited area. with the use of a weapon club, all indicative of a casual, unplanned, not a planned encounter. So it does not mean that the attack was at the back o may tama sa likod. The stab wounds are at the back. It does not necessarily mean that there is a treachery. Or if the attack was made frontal, it is not necessary that there is no treachery. What is important is that it is a strategy, means employed by the accused so that the victim cannot put up his defense. Then there is a clear case of treachery. So the mode of attack must be consciously adapted. So this means that the accused must make some preparation to kill the deceased in such manner as to ensure the execution of the crime, or to make it impossible or hard for a person to defend himself. So as long as there is planning coming from the accused to ensure that the victim will not put up a defense and he will be surprised, that is a clear case of treachery. In the following cases, it was held by the Supreme Court that there was treachery or alibusía, the act of shooting the victim at a distance without the expectation on his part that he would be assaulted, is characterized by treachery. That is the ruling in People versus Tamani. So malayo yung accused, from a distance binaril niya yung biktima. That is to ensure that the victim will not retaliate. So there is a treachery there. Another example, the killing was attended with aggravating circumstance of treachery because the accused made a deliberate surprise attack to the victim and they perpetrated the killing in such manner that there was no risk to themselves arising from any defense which the victim might have made. People versus Mori. So inasmuch as the victim was unarmed and utterly defenseless, he tried to escape through a window. The accused shot him. In that situation, the victim fell into the batalan with 3 serious gunshot wounds and entry on his back. Treachery or alibusía was manifested in that manner of assault because it ensured the killing without any risk to the assailant. Yan yung mga example natin ng treachery o may pagtataksil na pagpatay o pag-commit ng krimen. But in the following instances, treachery is not appreciated. The attack was perpetrated in a frontal encounter shown by the location of the wounds in front part of the victim's body. There were no wounds on the back. So yung atake ay lahat nasa front. No wounds on the back. There was no treachery. In another example, the initial assault of the victim was not made in a sudden and unexpected manner. The malefactors give him an ominous warning of their presence and heralded their entrance into the house by firing 2 guns on the ground. So merong warning bago nila isinagawa yung krimen. So there's no treachery in that case. Next, the accused and his companion did not camouflage their hostile intention. They announced their presence at the scene of the crime with shouts and gunshots, and the mode of attack negated the existence of treachery since the element of surprise which marked the presence of treachery was absent. So as long as there is an element of surprise, and the victim has not afforded the opportunity to defend himself. There is a treachery there. Also, the following instance, there is a treachery when they attack the victim when the victim is asleep. Okay, when the victim is half awake or just awakened, there is also a treachery there. You attack, or the accused attack the victim when the victim is only half awake or just awakened, kagigising lang. Doon niya binanatan agad yung biktima. So there is a treachery. Victim grappling or being held. There is a treachery where the assailant stabs the victim while the latter is grappling with another, or thus rendering him practically helpless to unable to put up any defense. Attack from behind is also considered as treachery. Attack from behind with firearm or with bladed weapon, that is treachery. So what are the requisites of treachery? That at the time of the attack, the victim was not in position to defend himself, and that the offender consciously adopted the particular means, method, and form of attack employed. Sinigurado niya na hindi makakaganti yung biktima, and there is a suddenness of attack, there is a surprise of attack to the victim. So that is treachery. And there is also a treachery in killing of a child. Killing a child is characterized by treachery because the weakness of the victim due to his tender age result in the absence of any danger to the accused. The killing of 1-year-old child by an adult or by a 20-year-old is a treachery. And treachery, class, may exist even if the attack is face-to-face. It's not necessary for treachery to be present, that the attack must come from behind, from the victim. Treachery should be taken into account even the deceased was face-to-face with the assailant at the time of the blow, when the blow was delivered, where it appears that the attack was not preceded by a dispute. So walang pag-aaway, but there is a suddenness of the attack, and the victim was unable to prepare himself for the defense. That is in US versus Cornejo, 28 Philippines 457. The attack was sudden and unexpected to the point of incapacity of the victim to repel or to escape. How about flashing the beam of flashlight on the face of the victim? Where there is an immediate prior stabbing, the accused flashed the beam of the flashlight to the face of the victim, momentarily blinding the victim. The attack through frontal was sudden and perpetrated in a manner directly to ensure its execution free from any danger. So there is a treachery in that case. So in summary, we can say that if the aggression is continuous, tuloy-tuloy, treachery must be present in the beginning of the assault. But when the assault was not continuous, so hindi siya tuloy-tuloy yung assault, isang bagsakan lang, in that case, there was an interruption or there is an interruption, it is sufficient that treachery was present at the moment of the fatal blow. So that is how we appreciate the aggravating circumstance of treachery. How about nighttime? Well, nighttime is inherent in treachery. Kasama na ang night time sa treachery. It is inherent. For this reason, the rule is that nighttime forms part of peculiar treacherous means and manner adapted to ensure its execution of the crime. So, pag may treachery and there is a nighttime, it is observed as one. Kasi nighttime is already included in the treachery. Paragraph 17, the means employed or circumstances brought about which add ignominy to the natural effect of the act. So what is the basis? The basis of this aggravating circumstance is the reference to the means employed. So what is ignominy? Is a circumstance pertaining to the moral order which adds disgrace to the material injury caused by the crime. Example, it would be present in the case where one rape a married woman in the presence of her husband. So the woman was raped in the presence of the husband. There is an ignominy there. Where the accused raped a woman in the presence of her brother. Where a woman was successively raped by 4 men, there is also an ignominy. When one of the victims was raped in the presence of her husband and successively raped by 5 men. So, ignominy when in compelling an old woman to confess to the theft of clothes, and the accused maltreated her and took off her drawer because the removing of her drawers could have no other purpose but to put her to shame. The crime in this case is ignominy. The grieved coercion attended by ignominy. And paragraph 18 for aggravating circumstance that the crime be committed of after unlawful entry. What is the basis? This has reference to the ways and means employed to commit a crime. Meaning of unlawful entry, there is unlawful entry when the entrance is effected by ways not intended for the purpose. So yung mga akusado ay dumaan sa bintana o sa bubong. Hindi naman yan usually daanan ng tao. So there is an aggravating circumstance of unlawful entry. Example, the act of entering through the window or which is not the proper place for the entrance of the house. It constitutes unlawful entry. So what is the reason for this aggravating circumstance? One who acts not respecting the walls erected by men to guard their property and to provide their personal safety shows a greater perversity, greater audacity. Hence, the law punishes him with more severity. So, mayroon kang tendency, greater perversity to perpetrate the crime. You use other entry than that is usually used by the person or the victim, like doors or the usual entrance to the house. Paragraph 19, that the means of commission of a crime, a wall, roof, floor, door, or a window is broken. So, what is the basis for this aggravating circumstance? Reference to the means and ways employed to commit the crime. So, the wall, the roof, the floor, and the door or the window is broken. Paragraph 20. The crime be committed with aid of person under 15 years of age and by means of motor vehicle, airship, another similar means. So dito naman, ginamit mo yung mga bata under 15 years old for the commission of the crime, thinking that they will have no criminal responsibility because they are under 15 years old. But if you are an adult facilitating the commission of the crime, you'll have an aggravating circumstance under the paragraph 20. So, committing a crime by means of motor vehicle, airship, and other similar means, that is also a aggravating circumstance. Next, paragraph 21, that the wrong done in the commission of the crime be deliberately augmented by causing other wrong not necessary for its commission, or this is also called as cruelty. There is a cruelty when the culprit enjoy and delight in the making his victim suffer slowly and gradually, causing him unnecessary physical pain in the consummation of criminal act. So for example dito, bago patayin ang biktima, tinali muna, pinahirapan bago isinagawa ang pagpatay o pagbaril. Kaya pinakagat muna sa langgam o sa aso bago niya tudasin. So there is a cruelty. It is unnecessary, causing unnecessary physical pain and in the consummation of the crime. So what are the requisites? The injury caused be deliberately increased by causing other wrong, and the other wrong be unnecessary for the execution for the purpose of the offender. So those are the aggravating circumstances as enumerated in Article 14 of the Revised Penal Code.